Ford's got me seriously confused with this 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor. I mean, it's got the beefy 33-inch tires, 10.6 inches of ground clearance, and look at this face. It gives you that look like says, yeah, you know what, I'll drive right through your rock garden. But then you step on the inside and the whole tone changes. It looks like I'm stepping inside a goddamn tech showroom. I got big panoramic screens. I got minimalist interior, touch sensitive steering wheel, and a steering wheel that looks like it's a rejected prop from a sci-fi movie. I mean, they wired this beast like it's a video game console. Because look at the exterior. The overall exterior of the Ford Expedition Tremor, it's a pure beast. It says power, it says performance. So is this whole experiment gonna really pay off for Ford? Is it a flop? Or did they really manage to pull something off? Well, I've been driving it all week, so I'm here to tell you all about it.
Let's kick it. So much fun.
Hey everybody, my name is Pat and this is Outsider Reviews. We like to cut the crap, have no filter, and just have a no-nonsense approach to car reviews. So if you like the sound of that, press that subscribe button. I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Panna, who's going to be filming today. And as I've mentioned, Expedition Tremor. And I've already talked about the exterior aesthetic, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth because it definitely has its mass appeal. Look at those gold accents. The gold accents on the tow hooks, the gold accents all around, as well as when you're looking around the beefy tires, the 33-inch tires on 18-inch wheels. You got the valve stem is clearly identified by that gold accents. So everything about the looks of it checks out, good to go. It's gonna turn some head, and it's definitely gonna make its presence felt because it have the 1-inch lift over all the other Expedition, and it is a full-size SUV. But let's go right into the specs. What's underneath the hood? We got that 3.5 liter twin turbo V6 that puts out 440 horsepower, 510 pounds-feet of torque via a 10-speed transmission. Yeah, I know it's kind of a famous 10-speed transmission, but it's going to put out a 0 to 60 time under 5 seconds for this full-size SUV. That's crazy. Fuel economy, combined fuel economy, 18 miles per gallon or 13 liters per 100 kilometers, capable of towing 9,600 pounds. Price in Canada, $106,000. In the US, $80,000. Sorry about that. $80,000. That is a hefty price tag, let's face it. None of them are cheap right now. Whether you're shopping around, from GMC, Chevy, they're all going to be around the same price point. But I really like that they gave me the Tremor because it's got that not so Raptor-like performance, but that in between kind of like, very capable of doing stuff, capable of taking you to the cottage, capable of handling gravel roads and such, because we do have underneath skid plate protection. Yes, that's part of the deal. So I think that the Tremor is probably the most attractive vehicle in the Expedition lineup. Comment below what you guys think. Let's move off to the side here, and yeah, we got cameras. I also got one in the front, 360-degree camera. And my wife loves these little Easter eggs over here, so we got an Expedition picture right in the window. She notices those things. Gotta love it. And I have Raptor boards and more gold accents. Tremor completely pops out right there. I got approach, departure, lock and unlock, good to go, and power folding mirrors. Moving on to the back, the fuel economy I gave you is actually on recommended premium fuel, so that is going to cost you a little bit more money. On to the back end. Looks really nice and bulky, and I especially love the gold accents that's all around the blackout Expedition written out. Looks really good. And 9,600 pounds of towing, as I mentioned. And speaking of the ground clearance, let's go take a look here, because 10.6 inches of ground clearance doesn't tell the whole story. This is not 10.6 inches of ground clearance. You don't have to tell your wives that, but it's actually more like 7.5 inches of ground clearance on the wheels. But it's not the only truck to go that. When I reviewed the RHO that had 11 inches of ground clearance, it had more like 8 inches of ground clearance on the side, because it's tucked into the side where the wheels are, and hopefully the wheels are going over the obstacles, and it's kind of the middle that matters the most. So the center, 10.6 inches of ground clearance. Tailgate, split tailgate. Here's a look at the key fob. You can double press, so you can program the tailgate button to open up both. Because if I just do this, only the top portion is gonna go up, and the bottom, that's handy because if you have groceries and you know you've been driving a little bit crazy off-roading with your groceries, you don't want everything to spill out. So that is good that it's there. Press the button here, that drops down. As you can see here, with the seats up, you got about 22.9 cubic feet of space. And if I decide to, right here, the buttons, so you got power, raise, and drop of the third row. So you can do the right seat or the left seat, or you can just do all of the seats all at once. Does take a little bit of time, but hey, at least you're not manually doing it. And when you do drop these seats, 69.9 cubic feet of space. Now let's go on to the second row over here. So you got left, middle, right. So you get your choice or whatever. So let's just do uno, dos, tres. 2 out of 3 is not too bad. Now my driver's seat is a little bit further back, so that's what prohibited that. But if you don't have your driver's seat all the way back, it'll drop. Another cool thing is, right here, you open this. Let's go ahead and throw that over there. There's a shelf here. Also, right here is how you would access your spare tire, which is underneath. This is where you would access it and drop the spare tire underneath. And now we have a little shelf. So you have these hooks. You just lay them out here, and you would just put your shelf like so. Once it's up, you do have a nice little table surface, and I don't know, what would you use it for? Comment below. You can also close this portion, obviously, to get a little bit closer. Use it maybe as a food prepping table for your camping adventure. Let me know. Now let's go inside and see how comfortable this is. Getting in the third row usually is quite the feat, but in the Expedition, easy peasy. I got a button here, I press, this kicks back. Push it because I am a bigger person. I need more space. Then you notice there's a handle right around here. So I grab here, I can grab here. 3 points of contacts for safety at all times, folks, when you're climbing. And I just get in. Nice. And then I'll just kick this back. And obviously the person in the front would need probably some more room. But you can overall have 36 inches of leg room back here. Plenty for the big guy. I'm 5'9" for reference, and I still have a couple inches of headroom as well. It says there's room for 3 across, just not 3 of me. Also, I like that I have power reclining function here. Okay, that's about as much as it reclines. Go forward. That's way too straight. So yeah, power recline. I got 2 USB-Cs. I got a cup holder. On that side, you got 2 cup holders because you can sit 3 across. So yeah, overall, max comfort. If I want to get out, I have access to the button right here, which is pretty good. And just grab the side here. And because I have 0 flexibility, I can just crawl out like a baby steps. There we go. Let's go in the second row. There you go. That's what I meant by you can definitely kick this one back here. Let me raise these seats as well. Uno, dos, and tres. Nope, this is not a Spanish video. I'm just that fluent. Once I'm here, and I am all the way back, I have, you can't tell because let me put all the seats back for you. 42 something inches of leg room. That's more leg room than most vehicles have in the front seats. So that is ample amount. I got double pouches over here for storage. I also have a slot here for a tablet, 2 cup holders, tri-zone control. So I got HVAC controls, heated outboard seats, but not ventilated. And I have a full outlet here that I can push out 120 volt. So like a regular household plug, USB-C behind the seat. Really smart, because a lot of people will put them in the middle, and the thing is, if I'm charging a device, it's usually going to be in my hand, right? So I want a USB-C connection right here in the middle seat. I like that option. It's on both seats as well. And of course, these recline. Now, I do find it a little bit of a bummer that at this price point, like I said, upper 80s in the US or $106,000 Canadian, I don't have power adjustable seats. I know that the more you electrify, the more that can probably go wrong. So manual is probably safer for in the long run, and you can recline just fine. I just think that for the price, maybe heated and ventilated seats and power adjustable seats would have been nice. Now here's where the Tremor trim, or the Expedition as a whole, especially in the Tremor, doesn't quite fit the exterior, because the exterior, yeah, it's rugged, it's off-roady capable, and it's got that look to it. And then you come here and you're like, okay, let's address the elephant in the room, or the couple of elephants in the room besides me. Steering wheel, overly not a very sci-fi like, it kind of Star Trek. And these are all touch sensitive, so basically when you're driving you would touch them, and on the screen it would tell you what they stand for. It stands for okay, and then, oh, look at that, music, pause, accelerate, voice commands, these kind of things is what. And that you can only see it because if I take my thumb off of it, eventually that disappears and the screen goes blank, so that doesn't stay there. Same thing for on the left side, but that's your advanced cruise control, so it only pops in your lane keep assist. So I think we're going too far here. I have no problem with just touch buttons, simple buttons. I would have been fine. The other thing is the shape. If you can see, this is not round. If you pass that in preschool, the whole shape thing, not a circle. And where it comes in is that I like to pass the wheel, and you eventually you get used to. You'll get used to anything essentially, but it just feels awkward. Now they get this from who started this? Yeah, Tesla with the whole yoke. But the thing is with the whole yoke and the Cybertruck, not a very good truck by the way, is you only have to make these kind of adjustments, because that steering by wire only needs small increments. And here, no, you wouldn't need to go. So just give me, you can do a flat bottom, fine, but give me the rest of the circle, please. That's my thoughts on it, and let me know. And also to adjust the steering wheel, it is via this over here. So adjust it and out. So you got telescopic and up and down kind of adjustment. You got to go through your steering wheel buttons that you don't really see. That being said, he also gives away to a giant panoramic screen. It's a key. It's at least it's not as big as the Lincoln. Lincoln will go all the way across. I think that's overkill, and I would actually go on and say that this part here beyond is overkill, because this gives you your maps. You have access to wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and obviously built-in navigation. But this is how you would interact via that interface. So your map here gets reflected there, but do I really need to see it twice? Could it not be incorporated in the fact that this screen is completely blank except for your touch capacitive buttons will be over here and stuff? I just think that we're trying to do too much. Do less. And no heads-up display, because you don't really need it. When you shove the screen all the way up there, that kind of negates the need for heads-up display. That would be way too many displays. But that is my overall opinion. I do like that they have this giant storage shelf right here. There we go. Can use that whole space as a shelf. So there's that. I am kidding, of course. These become projectiles if you become in an accident. Never shove anything over there. But you do also you can see a little bit the sound bar, the B&O sound system. Sounds great, as you would expect it. And this is looks like it's fairly easy to clean and dust, so that's not really a big concern here. I love this fabric though. This is really cool. It's nice feel to the touch of it, and the metallic Expedition, really good looking things. But so where I say do less, I say do more over here, because HVAC controls are 100% via the screen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got a big screen, but headlight control is also via the screen here. So I can control my lights. I control interior, exterior zone, and all that stuff. So the ambience lighting, yeah, cool, good to go. And let's go over here. And you also have all your accents here. And this is where we can cover some of the stuff that the Tremor has. So you can see right there, trail turn assist. So that will basically one of the rear wheels, if you're turning right, so the right rear wheel is just going to lock up a little bit and drags to increase, to basically lower your turning radius to make it more nimble that way to go around the obstacle. So you get trail turn assist, trail one pedal drive, rock crawl mode, standard skid plates, and tow hooks on top of a 1-inch lift and 33-inch tires. And that's what the Tremor trim gives you. And a rear locking diffs. Now drive modes, let's go through them. So we have normal, tow haul, eco, sporte. We also have slippery, off-road, and rock crawl mode I just mentioned. That's something you would get. It would shift into for low. We'll keep it on normal right now. We're just on the gravel road. No big deal for this Tremor. As you can see, well, you might not be able to see here, but right above here, I have the eye sensor. So this is equipped with Blue Cruise 2.0 that will actually do lane changes. I'll show you a little bit how that is on the highway. One notable thing is, here's food for thought. Maybe have buttons and knobs here, or right underneath here. See, there's a vacant space there. You can have it there for your HVACs, increase the button and knob stuff. Your rotary shifter here, maybe have a column shifter. The start button you can basically shove anywhere, shove it here, I don't care. Have a column shifter. That's what I would like out of this Expedition. Electronic column shifter, you know, pull towards you, drop down, go for a drive, good to go. And then have some HVAC controls, not 100% controls, but some of them there. I do appreciate the volume knob and such, but that's my beef about that, because the Pro Trailer Assist also is over here. So, you know, reversing a trailer very easy. I got a wireless charger, USB-A, USB-C connection here, which I can completely hide from you. Looks pretty good. Cup holders, decent size. And then I got a nice size, deep center console storage with 2 USB-Cs and a 12-volt power. And another thing though, this power retractable center console that opens up a whole slew of storage here. And you know what, my Easter egg hunt bunny over there behind the camera, there's a Model T here. I can just put the mat out. This makes it easy to clean. Right here, Model T, a little egg Easter egg there, Ford Motors Company. And you can actually equip this with a safe too. So all my friends in the United States that like to carry their guns with you, lock it up. But yeah, overall, very spacious as you would expect. And I don't have, though, the rear view camera mirror. So this is just a auto dimming mirror. You know, I would have appreciated that it would have the rear view camera mirror, but I just don't have it. I have a nice big panoramic sunroof, which I can open a little bit more. You can see those nice fall colors. And lastly, if you want to take a look at the 360 camera views, press the camera button here. Now the door on the passenger side is open for my lovely wife, so that's why you see this. But you do have a nice overhead view and front view over here. You can just let's go here. Changed all kinds of views. Trailer hitch. That's our son biking there. And the side views. So you can see one doesn't match because the door's open, but it's nice that you can still see it. Yeah. Overall, the interior is what gives me possible concern. I mean, you should leave this kind of steering wheel and interior in a Lincoln, personally. I think that the fact that the Ford Expedition is built off the F-150, keep it that truck vibe inside. You have the truck look on the outside, but also bring it inside. All right. Now I'm going to take it for a drive. Let's kick it. So much power. Oh, power is sufficient in the Expedition Tremor. Putting out 440 horsepower, 510 pounds-feet of torque. Enough said. It's plenty. Oh, you hear that? That sounds nice. Now, what is it like driving the Expedition? I've been driving it all week. I'm at 575 kilometers now driving. Enough time in seats. And let's talk about the seats first. First, comfort. It's okay, but I'm a bigger person. I would say I'm vertically, challenged, but horizontally blessed. And that is not a pro for these seats. I find them a little bit narrow. So, I mean, if you're a small person, which most of you guys are probably, it's not going to be an issue. But I got to mention it, the side bowstring is a little tight on my butt cheeks, so my thigh is there. So, not the most comfortable seats for moi. That's me in French. But overall driving, to answer the question, what is it like with this steering wheel? What is it like with this dual screen setup with the big panoramic screen up in the front? I'm addressing the screen first. It's fine. I like how it's pushed out, and it kind of acts as if it'd be a heads-up display in a way, because it is pretty much at the dash. And I do like that it's kind of 2-in-1, right? It's a heads-up display and a big display. However, I'm still going to maintain that it doesn't need to be that big, and we could cut off the portion of the where the map is currently right there. Not really needed. And but because you have it here and everything, and for sure after more than a week, perhaps you can train your eyes to just look sideways. But I think if you were to incorporate that map into that screen, make that screen a little bit shorter, kind of like cut it where this one starts, I think that would be ample, and that would be plenty, and that would be easier as far as cutting down because I'm still finding myself, I'm looking down, and for the maps I'm kind of searching. I'm like, okay, which one? But eventually you'll get used to that. I'm just not there. It's only a week that I have the vehicle. Could be part of it. Steering wheel. The button is not an issue. The button's the fact that you don't really see, and it's not fixed buttons. You get so used to knowing where your buttons are for cruise controls and stuff that I've already gotten used to that. The buttons are pretty good. The shape of it, I'm starting to get used to it. I don't love the idea, but I'm starting to get used to it. Now driving, I've done all kinds of driving. I did construction, because there's heavy construction around my neighborhood, so it's kind of like a war zone out there. And as I was driving, this suspension with combination of these 33s absorbs all these imperfections very well. It turns a rough road into kind of like a fun road to drive, really, because the suspension is, it's just a Tremor suspension. It's not a Fox Live or anything like that, but it does a very good job. You're not going to go at very high speeds like you would on a Raptor, but it's a very good suspension, absorbing, speed bumps, kind of bumps, and They do have more body roll when I'm turning. Right here I'm a roundabout, and so yeah, I would get more body roll there. But overall, for me that lives a little bit in the countryside, we don't have the best roads, and this is why people get big trucks in my area. It's not because they all use them. Some of them use them, but the rest of them is because those damn roads are rough, and this absorbs it just great. Now, power output, I've kind of addressed it. It's a lot. It's a lot of power. And now that I am on the highway, you can get a little bit of a listen of what the road noise is like at highway speed. And I'm going to activate cruise control, which is also going to activate Blue Cruise, because this road is mapped for Blue Cruise. There you go. We are now, ladies and gentlemen, in hands-free mode. It makes long distance drive so easy. It's very smooth. I do find it sometimes it's a little bit rough on very like tight corners, even on the highway and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's one of my favorite hands-free driving assists. I know there's not that many out there, but it is. Now the 2.0 Blue Cruise will do auto lane change. Speaking of lane change, if I want to initiate one, I just tap here. See the camera angle coming out right here. So on the driver information cluster, I have a screen that pops up from my 360 view, so it shows me my blind spot on the dash. This is nothing new to manufacturers. Like Hyundai has been doing it for a while. Kia, I believe, as well. There's kind of the same, but it's cool that Ford is now incorporating it. So let's do a lane change to the right, and there you go. I see my blind spot, and I like it that this is where the screen comes in so handy. The fact that it's pushed out so far out, it's different because all the other one manufacturers is down here, and you'd have to look further down. Here I find it's more natural, and to look at the camera angle is even easier, because for the Hyundais or whatever you want to call them, and I have to look down. It's not quite instinctual. I'm looking at my screen, my speed, and then I look at my mirrors, and then I look at my blind spot. That's just an extra security point right here, just to make you feel better about changing those lanes. And now I guess it's time to conclude the whole video. What has been my week experiencing with the the experiment that is a very futuristic interior mixed with a Expedition rugged Tremor exterior. It's been, initially, it was wow on the outside and capabilities, and you're looking on paper like, wow, ground clearance, awesome. Tires are great, traction control, drive modes, the fact that it's got, trail assist turning, all the capabilities, including cargo space, leg rooms, everything was kind of wow. And then I got in here, and I was like, ugh. And my first few drives was like, ugh. I wasn't too much of a fan of it, but as in all things, we get used to a lot of things, and the screen layout I'm now comfortable with, and I actually more than appreciate it. The steering wheel layout buttons, good to go. I have no issues with it. The steering wheel shape, I still think I would prefer a round steering wheel, but driving wise, it is fine, more than fine actually. I'm doing good. And it does kind of, when people are going to get into your vehicle, it is kind of going to be a second take, unlike you would get in a Ford F-150, which is, hard buttons everywhere and everything. It's just, it will give you that second take, and some people might appreciate that. It's just going to be like, well, this is cool, this is new. And lastly, the B&O sound system actually fills the whole cabin, and this is a big cabin, so it really good sound system. I can't play tracks for you guys because of copyrights and stuff like that, but yeah, it does a really good. I like to have a different kind of layout. If I was to choose one thing, right? If I'm like, okay, what do I change about the Expedition? It would be the overall layout right here. Yeah, I know. I'm not even aiming at the steering wheel. I think any driver gets used to any kind of steering wheel they drive. It's this, where the shifter is and such. I would have liked the shifter to be closer over here. Have a column shifter, electronic column shifter. I think that's a good way to go because you have nothing going on here anyways. It's a little very minimalist over here. I would have also preferred to have some HVAC toggles right beneath the screen. Just give me a combination of, you know, screen and HVAC buttons, and I would have been very happy because otherwise, fabric, everything is nice. Everything is kind of very cool too, as well as the ambience lighting and everything. It's just that I would have changed some of the layout. My personal preference, my thoughts. This is my channel, but also you guys all have a voice in the comment section. Definitely use it. Definitely subscribe to the channel to well, support me in my endeavor of reviewing as many vehicles as possible. All right, so I'm going to go back to the road and turn this vehicle in. This is Monday, so it's been a full week I've had it. So check you guys in the next one.